2006, 2007, 2008, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020 et 2022. Espagnol, Rafael Nadal.
Have you ever wondered how different tennis would be if Rafael Nadal had never picked up a racket? What if the king of clay never graced the court? Would Federer and Djokovic have dominated even more? Would Spain still be a tennis powerhouse? And what about the big three? Will that still be a thing? Today, we're diving into an alternate reality, a world where Rafael Nadal never played tennis. Together, we'll uncover how his absence could have reshaped the sport, the records, and even its future. Get ready for a journey through the what-ifs and the could-have-beens. Let's dive in. Rafael Nadal didn't start as the tennis giant we know today. Born in the picturesque town of Manacor, Mallorca, he grew up in a family where sports ran deep. His uncle, Miguel Angel Nadal, was a professional footballer who played for FC Barcelona and represented Spain on the international stage. As a child, Rafael wasn't just about tennis, he was equally passionate about football. Interestingly, Rafa didn't follow his uncle's allegiance to FC Barcelona. Instead, he was a devoted Real Madrid fan. So, what if young Rafa had pursued football instead of tennis? With his incredible athleticism, unmatched focus, and determination, he could have excelled on the football field. Imagine Rafael Nadal as a midfield maestro or a commanding defender for Real Madrid. With his grit and relentless drive, he might have led Spain to World Cup glory, becoming a football legend. But while football would have gained a star, the world of tennis would lose one of its greatest champions. On that note, let's shift our focus back to tennis. Nadal's decision to play tennis didn't just define his career, it reshaped the sport itself. Without him, the Grand Slam record books would look drastically different. Take Roger Federer, for instance. In the early years of their rivalry, Nadal dominated, winning 6 of their first 7 meetings, including 2 Roland Garros finals in 2006 and 2007. Without Nadal, Federer would have easily claimed those titles, giving him an unprecedented 4 consecutive Grand Slam victories in 2006 and 2007. Federer's legacy might have reached even greater heights. In 2008, Nadal defeated him in what many call the greatest match in tennis history, that year's Wimbledon final. Without Nadal, Federer could have secured his 6th consecutive Wimbledon title that year, surpassing Bjorn Borg's record and cementing his status as the undisputed GOAT at that time. But what about Novak Djokovic, you might ask? Djokovic came to light much after Roger was challenged by Nadal, so if there was no Nadal, Roger Federer would have brutally dominated in the 2010s, making him the winner of a whopping 22 Grand Slams in that period. But what after 2010, you might ask? From 2011, Novak Djokovic was dominating the sport, but Nadal remained a constant thorn in his side, especially on clay. Remove Nadal and Djokovic's trajectory changes dramatically. He would have achieved the NOLA Slam quite earlier than when he eventually did in 2016. The Serb will likely win 3 to 4 more titles at Roland Garros during this period. This puts him ahead of his real-world slam count by 2015. Federer's chances improve slightly in this period too. Perhaps he picks up another Roland Garros and the Australian Open title, as Nadal's absence weakens the competition on clay and hard courts. Well, now let's move towards the latest stages of Nadal's career. What happens after 2016? By this stage, Nadal's injuries were coming more frequently than normal, but he was still competitive in Grand Slams. The Spaniard won 6 titles between 2016 and 2022. Without him, the landscape is unrecognizable. With Nadal gone, Djokovic likely wins at least 3 French Open titles during this era. By 2022, he might already hold 27 to 28 slams, making the GOAT debate lopsided. Federer's knee injuries still impact his career, but Nadal's absence on clay and in certain matchups could give Federer a better shot at adding 1 or 2 more slams before retirement. Overall, if we look at it, without Rafa, both Federer and Djokovic might have claimed multiple French Open titles during this period, boosting their Grand Slam tallies substantially over 30. When we talk about Rafael Nadal's incredible career, we often hear about his 14 French Open titles or his dominance on clay. But there's one achievement that quietly flies under the radar: his Olympic singles gold medal win in Beijing back in 2008. In the semifinals, Nadal met Djokovic, who was already showing signs of the dominance we'd see in the years to come. But Nadal, as always, was relentless. He took down Djokovic in a tough battle, booking his spot in the gold medal match. In the final, Nadal faced Chile's Fernando Gonzalez. but Nadal was unstoppable, winning in straight sets to claim his first Olympic singles gold. This victory not only cemented his place in history, but also crushed Djokovic's hopes of a higher podium finish. Without Nadal in the mix, Djokovic would have secured at least a silver medal in 2008, and given Djokovic's incredible form that year, many believe he would have been the favorite to win the gold. Imagine that. Novak could have achieved his Olympic dream 16 years earlier than he eventually did in 2024 in Paris. Coming back to Grand Slams, Nadal's dominance also blocked countless players from achieving their dreams. Many talented players saw their paths to Grand Slam success cut short by the eventual King of Clay. Take Tomasz Berdych, for example. Without Rafa in the mix, Berdych might have become one of the most surprising Wimbledon champions in 2010, forever changing his career. The same goes for players like David Ferrer, Robin Soderling, and Kevin Anderson, who all fell short in major finals against Nadal. Even Dominic Thiem, one of the few players who consistently challenged Rafa on clay, lost to him 3 times at Roland Garros, including 2 finals. Nadal didn't just stop players from winning titles, he shaped their legacies. For some, his absence might have meant a more decorated career. For others, it would have meant fewer crushing defeats at the hands of one of tennis's fiercest competitors. Nadal's impact goes beyond his achievements. His humility, discipline, and sportsmanship have made him a global icon. Throughout his career, Nadal has never broken a single racket in frustration, a testament to his respect for the game. In a world where outbursts are common, Nadal's composure sets him apart as a role model for athletes everywhere. In Spain, Nadal is more than a tennis player. He's a national treasure. His success has inspired an entire generation, from Carlos Alcaraz to Paula Badosa. And even after his retirement, Nadal's influence will endure through the Rafa Nadal Academy. Since its opening in 2016, the Academy has nurtured young talent, including Casper Ruud, who faced Nadal in the 2022 French Open final. Without Nadal, Spain's tennis legacy might have looked very different. Aspiring players would have lost an incredible role model and mentor. So what if Rafael Nadal never played tennis? The sport would have lost one of its fiercest competitors, most inspiring figures, and greatest ambassadors. While it's fascinating to imagine this alternate reality, one thing is clear. We're incredibly fortunate to witness the incredible journey of the King of Clay. If you enjoyed this thought experiment, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more sports content. And let us know in the comments, how do you think tennis would look without Rafa? Well, until then, see you in the next video.